This morning I saw these reactions, and it's like, oh my god, this is terrible. It was like
Really?
it was like a big dumpster fire. It seems like, right? And I was like, oh, it makes sense. Like,
But everybody shits on Fox movies, and they shouldn't because I actually like them.
well, but this was different. This was something along the lines of just like, oh man, and I said it even in the intro. I was like, okay, well, here's just basically Fox saying, let's just put this movie out because we have to. We shot it, and now it's going to Disney anyway, so we spent the money, might as well release it. I thought it looked like a normal X-Men movie.
I agree.
It looked fine.
Yeah, it looked. It was fine.
It looked
And
like
that's
a better
honestly-
version of the Brett Ratner
And
movie.
look, that's why I'll talk shit about the Avengers movies. Like
Yeah.
I actually love the first Avengers. It's just that the last few I wasn't into as much. Okay. But I don't understand why people think all MCU movies are these incredible Oscar-winning movies when there's equally an amount of not an amount, but there's equally good Fox movies out there.
Yeah.
There's good X-Men movies
Yeah.
out there, and people just for some reason really want to belong to one side, and I'm like, you can like both.
Yeah, well, I just it was the tone. I was worried about what the tone was going to be like.
Right.
The only thing I didn't like, to be honest, was Jennifer Lawrence, and she's
That's because she just doesn't seem like she wants to be there.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then they ruined. I think that's what is that what everyone. So if you haven't watched the trailer, this is a spoiler. So if you don't want to watch the trailer and you don't want to be spoiled, tune out to this and then come back after Alex. Fine. Puts in the time codes. Then you can go and you can.
Hey, Alex.
Thank you. Alex can go and check out the time codes, and you can do that, and then we won't be spoiled. So, but to tell you right now, here we go. They show that it hints like she's dead. They're gonna kill her off, right?
That Dark Phoenix is
Yeah, and it's probably her either requesting it or them going, look, she's barely wearing makeup. In this
I
thing. They
know,
don't even
it
have
was really
she's,
weird.
She's like they painted her bluish because she doesn't want to be. She said she doesn't like sitting in the chair, so she's
Right.
like, "I'm Jennifer Lawrence. Don't do this anymore."
I mean, granted, also when you show trailers, it's the CG and the
Yeah.
effects aren't completed yet. But yeah, you're right. It looked really weird. But
Yeah.
I mean, I really like Days of Future Past.
too.
Yeah, I loved
And I
it.
didn't like that. The only thing I didn't like is that they made it about her. I like everything else around it. I thought
but
it
at
was.
least worked though. But
It did work, but
worked.
it was fine. But
Yeah.
it's just it's too much Mystique. Like Mystique, to me at least, growing up with the comics and the '90s cartoon, she was more of a side character. It's just weird.
See, that didn't bug me as much because I thought that it was used very well in Days of Future Past. It was then in Apocalypse. She was so tuned out of that movie. She didn't want.
whole
She's
movie
like, I'm
was-
just getting paid.
She didn't want to be there.
You didn't like that movie at all? I liked some of it.
Apocalypse?
I did too.
I like all of them. Everything with Magneto and Professor X.
Yeah, the Magneto stuff was awesome.
That casting is great. I think James McAvoy and Mike Fassbender are amazing in those roles. And
Yeah.
anything with Magneto's story
Stuff
was
with his family.
amazing.
Man, that was
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, no,
to
I
watch.
liked for all those reasons I did, but the movie in general didn't work for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
that's
yeah,
like,
it
it's
got
not
to a
it's-
point where I was like, eh.
that's the majority of people, by the way.
It's not a great movie.
No, it's not. It's forgettable.
Yeah,
It's very
I just kept
forgettable.
remembering that
It's just
there was
got
like
good
a,
stuff
yeah.
in it.
there was like a secret hideout where Apocalypse was, and it was like under a carpet in the desert.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so they just
But that's the thing, though, is that this movie may very well be forgettable. It
Yeah.
it might be, but I
Which
just don't
is
think it looked.
sad.
But I don't think it looked bad.
No, it didn't. And that's the thing. Dark Phoenix is one of the comic book storylines that I grew up with that I loved. I was obsessed with the cartoon version of it. Jean Grey, the character, trying to fight between, okay, am I now this all-powerful god
Right.
versus do I keep my human side? I deal with that every day. No, I'm kidding. But so that it's such an interesting story, and it just hasn't been done properly. And so I'm hoping they'll at least follow the comic book storyline more
Well, I think
than Last Stand.
Well, I think Simon Kinberg gets it.
Yeah.
Simon Kinberg, who's directing it, who's written a lot of these stories, he gets
produced
it.
all of them.
Yeah, he gets it. I think that to see it. To see his version, I just would be so confused if I was him. Here we go. Here's the trailer, and then it seemed that there was a big backlash. I'm very curious for people who are watching right now in the YouTube chat room. And Alex, make sure I want to follow up with this and see what they're saying. What was the big backlash? If you hated the trailer, tell us why you hated the trailer, why you think this movie looks terrible. I'm very curious. Or would just kind of just like a normal X-Men movie that's like, whatever.
Yeah, it just looks normal to
it
me.
didn't look like amazing.
No, but it also didn't look bad.
No, I was expecting to see a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go, Thad. Let's start
Well,
this
it's
thing
got
up.
good actors, and I love Quicksilver.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
kid that
Evan
plays
Peters.
Quicksilver, he's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that type of stuff. Like those, like the good things of the other movies will hopefully still be there.
Well, I was worried that maybe they were going to do that thing I talked about yesterday for Masters of the Universe. Okay, well now they're going to have all these characters together. Now they're just going to try to do Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy because they have a group of characters, and they didn't. They stayed on brand, and it looks like every other X-Men movie that I've seen in the past. But Alex, what are they saying in the chat room?
They're still catching up, but I see a few that are just saying like it looks bland.
Yeah.
It looks like Last Stand all over again.
I don't know about that.
I don't think it looks
Last
like Last
Stand
Stand
was bad.
Last Stand,
that was a bad
Last
movie.
Stand had that bad humor in it, and Last Stand was Brett Ratner on the internet seeing the Juggernaut bitch video go viral and think, "Oh, we'll put it in the movie," and he put it in the movie, and it was just a bad joke.
Bad.
It was like, and the jokes were really bad. The stuff that
And what a waste because it had good actors
yes,
in it. Yeah.
I say it every time, and I'll say it again when we talk about that movie. Is that this is a legit question for you? What is Magneto's power?
What do you mean?
What's his power?
Magnetism?
Right, and he can bend what?
Or metal.
Right.
Yeah.
Then why is his hideout in the woods? Like, it's like shit like that we weren't even thinking about.
Right.
He's in the middle of the.
It looked cool.
Because it looked cool.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a set piece that they.
That's not what Simon Kinberg's going to do. The reason it looks familiar to Last Stand again is because it's the story of the Dark Phoenix. Like so, but this is I think Kinberg going up. We're going to do it right this time.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I just the thing too. I've definitely seen trailers that don't look great, and then I actually end up really enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
Like that has happened.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
So for people, I don't understand why people just see something and they're like, it's gonna be bad. Like you should wait to actually see
Right.
the finished product.
There are times to look. You can see a trailer though, to be fair, because that's the whole point of a trailer is that you watch the trailer and you say to yourself, like if it's a movie that, like for example, like Copster, he knows if he wants to see a movie or not, and then he'll go. But if there's movies that you don't know what it is, you never heard of it before, then those are movies that he'll tune into. Like, I don't know what this is. What is it? And then that way I know if I want to see it, if it looks good or not. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the product you're going to get in the theater.
Of course.
But it's the advertising tool that lets you say, well, the premise sounds cool enough.
Also, I mean, I just wish in general they didn't show so freaking much in the trailer. Like,
Right.
That's so weird to show that first scene.
Yeah.
With Mystique possibly dying.
There's some chat here in the Collider Live
Yeah.
official group. Brad DeRuiter says, I think there's misdirection in New X-Men in this trailer.
Right.
What do you think? Because that is a little glaringly obvious if we're going to kill Mystique in the trailer.
Unless
It
it's a
looks
plot-
that way.
Unless it's a plot point.
Unless
Or
it's
maybe
pop-up,
that's how
but
the movie starts. I don't know.
Maybe that's the inciting incident. That's what gets it going.
Unless they also tell you, look, Jennifer Lawrence is a big movie star. Don't come to see this movie just because of her, because she did.
That is.
You know what I mean?
They should have just said that.
But they showed it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about Jennifer Lawrence.
And I
because,
think-
because everybody has been saying that everyone's been saying Jennifer Lawrence phoned it in the last movie.
Right.
Like, don't worry, she did. And we're going to now move on over and we're going to follow Sophie.
Right.
And
Right.
we're going to follow all these people. Now, this is what the story is. It's not about Jennifer Lawrence. She just happens to be the inciting incident. And she's going to die.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
what's
Drew-
her name?
Drew Barrymore.
Is Jessica Chastain playing Lilandra, or who is she playing?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
I don't know, but
I
I
don't
love
know
her.
I don't
I
know.
love
Oh,
her.
she's great. No, I just wondering who. I can't think of
Yeah.
anybody else in the Dark Phoenix saga that she would play
Yeah.
other than Lilandra.
She can play whoever she wants to.
I can't
I
remember the
agree. She's
character.
great.
But they did announce it. You're up on your X-Men lore, so you probably know better than me. I'm looking up right now to see what she.
What else, Alex? What else are they saying in the chat room?
Yeah, just a lot of indifference.
Yeah, just like dull.
Some people are saying like they know it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Just because Disney is.
But
gonna,
then-
That's-
change
that's-
it.
That's a different
That's-
argument.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
valid
a-
argument, but it's
But
a
that's
different.
separate from whether the movie's going to be good or not.
That's right.
Right.
That's the different argument. You are absolutely allowed to say, well, this is just kind of the end. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm investing for what.
But so what though?
Yeah, but you can have the argument of two things. It's like I can invest to say I just want to watch a potentially really good X-Men movie, like a standalone, like a one-off, like essentially what Logan was. Logan was a one-off, or you could be bummed and say, yeah, but now they set this up to where they could have this really good continuation, but we're not going to get that because Marvel owns it now. I can understand the disappointment,
But
or
what-
MCU, the MCU.
Or it's going to be maybe it's going to be the capper. Maybe this is the end of the X-Men saga as we know
Right.
it through the Fox movies, and they're going to really do that in the movie.
But
We don't know.
But whatever future holds for a franchise, that's separate from whether a movie is
Yes.
good or not,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And so you have the MCU, which everyone's like, oh yeah, they did such a good job of connecting it all. And I agree that the way that this franchise happened is really smart, and
Right.
and it's quite the endeavor to do this for so long, for like over a decade or however it's been, because I feel old.
2001.
But
2000.
yeah, I mean that's
2000.
insane.
Yeah.
And, but at the same
19
time,
years.
but at the same time, not every MCU movie is good. Like it, and that's fine, and it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt the movies that are good, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand that argument.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's not so much an argument as it is like I think it's a valid concern, like
Right.
because
Or
it's-
just because they're not interested in that.
they're not interested because like, it would make, because it's all about the enjoyment of why you go to watch the movie. Are you going to the movie? Because very similar to me, I talked about on Jedi Council last week. I used to read every single book when they first announced all the books were coming out
Yeah.
because it was alluded that we would be rewarded in all the connected tissue. We had not been.
Nope.
There's certain ones that we are, but we have not been. So I'm a little bit more choosy now because I'm like, why did I invest all that time? And when that character will never see the light of day, I'll never know anything about this. They're not going to reference it, and it's
Right.
just it's the same thing as reading a Legends book. So my enjoyment of that was. Now I go. That doesn't take away from the fact that there are probably some good stories that I missed out on. It just my enjoyment for it was very different. So I can understand that people are like, "Well, I don't want to watch the X-Men movie because I want to see how it continues on, and it's not going to continue on." But
So it's just investment of like actually going to spend money on watching these movies and seeing if it's worth it for them.
yeah, some
So,
people
that
feel
makes
that way,
sense.
and then other people say exactly what you're saying. I just want to watch a good movie.
Yeah.
Like there are people who just like my dad. Who are like, I just want to see a movie. I don't care if I ever see another one ever again. But is it a good movie? Sure, I'll go see it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the audience that they really have to pay attention to because that's the majority. Like the geeky culture that we live into, I hate to tell everybody, is the minority.
They're like, what?
I know.
I am not the center of the world?
No, it's
Oh, we got some tweets. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. So
And we lost 3 listeners.
yeah, but all right. So it looks like that makes more sense that it's.
But you guys are going to see it, and you're
Yeah.
you're excited, and you hope it's good, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel.
I
yeah.
like Simon Kinberg. I like this cast, like you're saying
Yeah,
too.
it's
I
great
Love the
cast.
costumes.
And I love the
You
story.
do?
I love the it's a throwback to Chris Claremont's run. It's
Because some people
great.
were complaining about that,
And-
they were saying they
course they
prefer
were.
the Deadpool X-Men costumes, which I was like, I mean, fine,
Fine,
But-
whatever.
But yeah,
It's-
it is classic.
Yeah, it's a great classic look.